We gratefully acknowledge the Haudenosaunee and Abenaki, on whose ancestral homelands we gather, who have for generations stewarded the lands and waterways of this place that is known as the Adirondacks. Their heritage is our heritage. When making decisions, these Native peoples place the effects on future generations paramount. We honor this legacy today as we inspire, challenge, and proudly support all students.
Please remain standing for the duration of the Pledge of Allegiance, the national anthem, and our school's alma mater. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to please ask Senior Samantha Flagg to the stage for welcoming remarks.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Graduation Day. I want to take a moment to congratulate each and every one of you. You did it. You survived late-night study sessions, caffeine-fueled cramming, and the battle with senioritis. You have overcome the odds and made it here. And let's be honest, you deserve a medal just for making it through that last semester. If only there were a degree in procrastination, I bet half of you, including myself, would graduate with honors. Now, as you sit here today, you might be feeling a mix of joy and anxiety. Joy because you are finally free from the clutches of homeworks and exams until college. Anxiety because now the real world is about to hit you like a ton of bricks. I'm here today to hopefully ease some of those emotions and give you peace when you walk off today on your own destiny. So I would like to bring us back to a simpler time, back to around 2010 or 2011. I don't know, I barely passed math. But back to when we were first introduced to each other in pre-K, all going in for orientation, hanging on to our parents, as we were brought into the gym with a rainbow parachute in the middle. Now, I remember vividly when we all lifted it as high as we could in the air and had a race underneath, and when we looked up, we saw all the colors of the rainbow floating above us. In that moment, I felt like I was at the end of the rainbow. We had all hoped for a pot of gold to appear in front of us, but upon further inspection, we found nothing but our fellow peers, who sit in front of us today. However, what our pre-K selves didn't realize was that in our disappointment, we had a pot of gold right in front of us, our class of 2025. Because gold isn't defined only as a yellow, shiny metal, but as something valuable and precious, which you, the people we all grew up with, very much are. Despite how many times we all clash heads with each other, I hope in this little moment you realize just how much the people beside you, no matter how little you talk or how much you fight, are almost as close as siblings to you. With how much growth we all made together, appreciate each other. I would like to give a couple of pieces of advice to end this. As you move forward, do not forget to embrace your mistakes, as they make the best stories, and when in doubt, just smile and nod at the people who ask what your plans are. Trust me, you will thank me later. So let's celebrate this achievement together. Here's to all of you, the graduates of today. May your future be bright and your eyes always searching for your next pot of gold. Congratulations.
Good evening, families, faculty, and most of all, graduates. Thank you, Sam, for those remarks. Tonight, I stand before you on this very special evening, an extremely lucky new principal. I had the absolute best group of seniors for my first year. I had 3 incredible exchange students, Iga, Jada, and Felix. I had a never-ending stream of permission slips to sign for Emma Brown, Kaya, Kaylee, and Mary. I saw Carson become an EMT. I saw Braden race down the football field and around the track and barf. If you were there, you know. I saw the creation of the Christian Forte Computer Lab. I ate countless yummy treats created by Avery, Fox, Steele, CJ, and Monica. I saw Hannah, Aiden, Sophia, and Nevaeh grace the stage. And I get to see Emma Kavanaugh graduate at the top of her class, just like I told her she would way back in 4th grade. She just told me she doesn't remember that. But tonight is even more special for me because I also had the joy and privilege of teaching many of you in 4th grade when your shoes were a little too big, your backpacks a little too heavy, and your questions a little too endless. Now, speaking of questions, there's a story I always read to my classes. 3 questions. It was adapted from a story by Leo Tolstoy. And some of you may remember those moments in our classroom when we read this important story and the conversations that followed at the gathering spot. We talked about what it means to be present, to care for the people around us, and to do the right thing, especially when it's hard. That book helped shape how we treated each other and how our classroom felt. It was more than a story. It was a way to live. In it, a boy named Nikolai asks 3 important questions. When is the best time to do things? Who is the most important one? And what's the right thing to do? And he learns the best time to do things is now, because it's the only time we really have. The most important one is the person you're with in that moment. And the right thing to do is to do good for that person. As you leave high school and head into the next chapter, college, work, travel, or just taking time to figure things out, you'll be pulled in many directions. You'll be encouraged to look ahead, to move quickly, faster, to keep chasing the next big thing. But don't forget those simple truths we talked about way back then. Now matters. The people in front of you matter. And doing good, even in small ways, matters. And let me say this clearly. This class has lived those values. You've pushed yourselves in every area, on the field, on the stage, and in the classroom. This class has earned championships, taken home top honors in music and the arts, and reached academic heights that set a new standard for what's possible here. You've inspired younger students, you've lifted one another up, and you made this school a better place. I hope you remain ever grateful. In many ways, gratitude is the most enlightened form of thought. Find the good in every day, the lesson in every experience. And here's something I sincerely hope you remember. Come home from time to time. This small mountain town may seem quiet compared to where you're going, but it gave you something special. These mountains surrounded your childhood. They gave you room to grow up with a little more space, a little more freedom, and a strong sense of home. In a way, they protected your childhood just by being there. So come back to walk the trails that feel like old friends. Come back to see the people who cheered for you long before they knew where you'd end up. Come back and see your old high school principal, who will always be interested in what you've been up to and all the incredible things you've accomplished. Come back to remind yourself where your story began, because your story isn't over, it's just getting started. And from this point on, you are the author, and you are the hero. Write a story that you'll be proud of, one filled with courage, kindness, and purpose. Remain curious and ask the big questions. Show up for others. And when the moment calls for it, do the right thing. Class of 2025, you are ready to lead, ready to grow, ready to return home when you need to, and ready to become the hero of your own story. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your childhood. Congratulations, we're so proud of you. Now I'd like to invite to the stage Jack LeQuay for the President's Address.
All right, it's getting a little chilly in here, right? All right, good evening. I'll try to keep this short, like myself. This year I've had the honor of serving as your class president. It's been more than a title. It's been a chance to get to know you all better. And while some of you might recognize me from classes, the beach, or my artwork, I've come to know you by the sound of your laughter. That's how I remember people. Not by what they wore or their GPA, but by the way their laughs cut through a stressful day. You made me laugh too, constantly. Whether it was an unexpected comment in the middle of class, a random text that made you cackle, or when that inside joke comes up again. This class has been a never-ending source of joy. Even on the hardest days, you found ways to lift the mood, and for that, I'm endlessly grateful. If you've ever talked to me, even briefly, I hope I made you laugh, or at least exhale a little through the nose, that counts. I've kind of made it my mission to sneak a little bit of humor into every conversation, not because I crave attention, but mostly because I know how powerful a laugh can be. There were times over these past few years when things got rough. Countless papers assigned by Mrs. Curry, group projects from Mrs. Savage, and an exceptional amount of senioritis. And during those times, it wasn't the big motivational speeches or grand gestures that got me through. Sometimes it was a dumb joke from a friend or a shared look during class that said, "Ugh, do we really have to learn this?" That's why I walk into every conversation like a comedy scout. I'm always trying to make people feel just a little better, because when we laugh together, we forget how stressed we are. We remember that we're in this together. And that's really what this moment is about, being together. We've made it here by smiling through the bad. We've grown into people who are braver, funnier, and more resilient than we were 4 years ago. So, as we all head in different directions, college, work, the circus, I hope we don't forget the power of laughter and the strength we found in each other. I hope we keep finding those little moments of connection wherever we go. Congratulations, class of 2025, and thank you for the laughs.
Thank you, Jack. Now I'd like to introduce and call to the podium this class salutatorian, Campbell Casagrande.
Hi everyone. I just wanted to start off by thanking all of you families, teachers, and friends for being here tonight to celebrate with us. These past 4 years, our classes really tried to make high school something worth remembering, and I'd like to think that we all did. We made memories, some wild, some definitely weird, some sweet and new. Some we'll definitely still be laughing about from years in the future. But more than just memories, I think our class has been a genuinely great group of people. We've gotten along, we've had fun together, and there's a kind of ease in the way we all connect. This group has made some astonishing accomplishments, all as individuals, teams, and as a whole. That's not an accident. It's thanks to the people who raised us, the people who made us who we are. So again, thank you to all the parents and families here today and those who may not be with us for shaping us into the people who we are. Now, heading out of high school, that means all these people and the ones we've spent so much time with will start becoming a part of our past. And that's one of the hardest things about high school ending. Not going into the unknown, but losing the familiarity of it all. People always say, why is high school the good old days? But I've been thinking, why does it have to stop there? Why did these years have to become just a memory? Maybe it's because high school felt simpler. No bills, no taxes, no 40-hour work weeks, just some homework we may or may not be doing. Or maybe it's because we're surrounded by each other, in the halls, at games, in class. Even if we're half asleep and running late, we're in it together. And that kind of closeness is hard to come by. Some of us will be lucky to hold on to it and keep the same group of friends. But for the rest of us, I hope that we fight for it. I hope we don't let it go and we make it with new people. Because here's the thing, I don't want high school to just be the best time of our lives. I want it to be the start of something even better. And I think these years get called the good old days because they were fully present in the moment. But what I mean by that is we're not overthinking every move or constantly worrying about the future. We are just there, laughing, trying, growing up, messing up and learning from our mistakes and the people around us. My parents have always told me not to stress too much, and that's something I really hope we all can carry with us into the future. I hope we can all go forward with our lives and feel full, not full of stress, but full of moments that actually matter. Lives where we stay present, and that's the biggest thing. Lives where we make memories that top even the best ones in high school. So my hope for all of us, and something I hope we can all take away from me rambling up here, is that please do not stop having fun. Do not stop building new friendships that make life feel like a celebration. And most of all, please do not stop living in the moment, because that's where life really happens.
Thank you, Campbell. Now, our high school chorus will be joined by senior members for the last time to perform Good Riddance. as always, well done, chorus, well done. And now I'd like to invite our class valedictorian, Emma Kavanaugh, to the stage.
What's up, everybody? Okay, I'm gonna do the obligatory thank you all for being here tonight, and start out with my thank yous, because none of us got here alone. So thank you to the Tupper Lake Elementary and Middle High School faculty who made our education possible. In particular, and I'm gonna use first names here because I'm graduating, I wanna thank Amy Wilson, Nicole Curry, Nicole Pickering, Melissa Savage, and Misty LaRue. Your guidance, your patience, and your unwavering support helped shape my high school experience and get me where I am today. And to my family, I wouldn't be standing here without you, allegedly. Thank you for everything. When I first sat down to write this speech, I had no idea what I was supposed to say. Everyone seems to expect a valedictorian speech to be this shining beacon of wisdom, full of motivation, hope, and maybe a few corny jokes. And believe me, I had ideas. At one point, I was going to open with a Princess Bride impression. You guys would have loved it, would have been great. I even considered comparing high school to a horror comedy movie. Lots of screaming, some laughs, a few jump scares, and somehow we made it through. We persevered, we got over our fears, we defeated the big bad, slayed the villain. But I didn't want this to be cliche. I didn't want to pretend I had it all figured out. So instead, I'm going to try to be honest. Here's the truth. I spent a lot of high school worrying, for no reason. I stressed over tests, I panicked over group projects, I let anxiety chew my way through too many nights. And now, standing here at the end of it all, I realize most of it didn't matter as much as I thought it did. I wish that I had cared a lot less about high school. It really wasn't that big of a deal. And this final year and maybe it's senioritis, but I stopped putting so much of myself into an institution that didn't view me as a person, but instead a collection of numbers, of grade point averages, test scores, and days present. When I stopped trying to get this approval from something that didn't really matter, I had a much more enjoyable experience. I laughed more, I had more fun. Don't get me wrong, I still got the work done, but if I think back to my high school career, that's what I want to remember, having more joy. I kind of like to imagine high school in 3 parts, like 3 acts of a play. In Act 1, we were new to the building. We were unsure of our place here. Some of us might have gotten lost a couple times, but we hadn't quite figured ourselves out yet. We probably still haven't, to be honest, but we were more scared in the beginning, I guess. And then that tipped right over into COVID. And that's kind of Act 2. It's a blur, remote school and masks and regents exams, and you felt like high school would never end. And then Act 3, the final chapter, the end, el final, curtains. And now that it's here, it feels surreal. It dragged by so slowly while we were living in it, and now it feels like it was gone in the blink of an eye. Soon we'll walk out of this school, and some of us may never see each other again. It's strange how this thing that felt so huge and unreachable can end so quietly. So what comes after the end? In movies, it's usually happily ever after, and then the credits roll. But life isn't a movie. There's no neat wrap-up, no soundtrack guiding us to the next scene. Instead, we're all stepping into something new, the sequel, the next chapter, the next path. And maybe you're heading off to college, maybe you're staying here, maybe you're taking a gap year, you're jumping right into a job. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it makes you feel alive. You don't have to change the world. You don't have to win awards or impress anyone. You just have to live a life in a way that feels meaningful to you. Be yourself. Be awkward, be weird, be loud, be cringe. Take photos of your food that no one will ever see. Sing in the shower. Lay outside in the rain and get horrendously sick. Wear what makes you happy. Take up water aerobics or crochet and be absolutely terrible at it. And laugh anyway because it doesn't matter. Laugh and cry and hug your friends. Find your people. Fall in love and lose it. Try to start gardening and kill all the plants. Make food that you spill on your couch and it ends up leaving a huge stain. because that's life. It's messy and imperfect and occasionally heartbreaking, but it's so full of the potential for joy. If you want to live in a van and travel the country, do it. If you want to stay in your hometown forever, do that. Be a nurse, a mechanic, a teacher, a door-to-door vacuum salesman. Fight for a cause, or just find your peace in your corner of the world. You don't have to leave your mark on this world. You don't owe anyone greatness. You just need to live a life that feels like yours because you owe yourself happiness. I don't have any great wisdom. I've barely started living myself, but that's my advice. And I will say this. The world is vast and weird and hard and beautiful, and we're lucky enough to be a part of it. So that's it. Thank you again to everyone who helped us get here. Class of 2025, we made it. Yay!
Thank you, Emma. Now I would like to bring to the podium our Superintendent of Schools, Mrs. J.C. Welsh.
Thank you. First, I have the honor of recognizing our 24-25 Outstanding Educator Award. At the same time, Northern New York was just recovering from an ice storm, and NASA launched the Lunar Prospector to study the moon. This educator began her career at Tupper Lake Central School District. Hired as a long-term sub for half a year before securing a full-time role the following fall. What do students say about this outstanding educator? We do fun things, and she gives us lollipops. Her class makes me happy. She's really nice and encourages us. She helped me believe in myself and helped me realize this could actually be part of my future. She cares, like really cares, not just about how we do, but us as people. She believes in us, even when we aren't that good. She's like the most supportive person ever. If you're struggling, she notices. If you do something well, she makes sure you know it. So we ask, what is a music teacher? Music teachers inspire students by emphasizing the power and impact of music, the joy of learning, and the importance of perseverance. Music has the ability to change lives, connect with emotions, and bring order to chaos. What else do students say about our 24-25 outstanding educator? She's patient and kind. Even when I play a wrong note, a lot. She never makes me feel bad, she just helps me get better. I used to be really shy, but being in her class helped me come out of my shell. Now I actually look forward to performing. She puts so much into everything we do. You can tell she's 100% committed, and that makes us want to work harder too. Our Outstanding Educator of the Year has worked for Tupper Lake Central School District for 27 and a half years. We are so proud to have her as an educator, a colleague, a community member, a mentor, a leader, and she's an all-around amazing human being. Congratulations to our 24-25 Educator of the Year, Mrs. Laura Davison. Congratulations. Thank you for everything. Good evening, graduates, faculty, proud parents, cherished friends, and respected members of the community. We gather here today to celebrate a significant milestone in the lives of these remarkable graduates. I find myself reflecting on the journey that has brought us all to this moment. It's a privilege and honor to stand before you, not as the superintendent, but as someone who's traveled the path that you all are about to take. someone that grew up in a small town and took the lessons learned, good and bad, to each adventure and journey I encountered. Growing up in a small town, you were able to participate in a unique culture, a blend of familiarity, community, and simplicity. You have all been shaped by the stories that echo in the hallways, the laughter that carries through your neighborhood, and the support that solidifies your connections. It's here, in this small town, that you've learned essential lessons about what it means to be part of something greater than yourselves. In a small town environment, you experience successes in a way that resonate deep within the heart. It could be winning an award, presenting at the Wild Center, fixing a fuel injector, scoring a goal, running a chainsaw 50 feet up in a tree, hitting an RBI, acing an essay, taking to the stage to sing, running a personal best, showcasing your artwork, or throwing that perfect pass. Your triumphs, both big and small, are shared in a way that make victories feel like a collective achievement. You've cheered for one another, celebrated together, and take pride in your community. After graduation, you're going to venture into the world, chasing your dreams in all places of all kinds. You'll experience the thrill of living in a new place and the dread of paying rent for the first time. You may experience new cultures or gain a deeper understanding of the Adirondack culture that surrounds you. But always remember, wherever you venture in the world, and regardless of how far it takes you, there is undeniable strength that comes from knowing where you come from. Should you encounter failure or a setback in life, because we all do, know that your small town is a safe harbor, a place to regroup, reflect, and recharge. Graduates, embrace the world and all it has to offer, but always carry with you the values that you learned here in Tupper Lake. Remember a strong sense of community, kindness, and resilience. Wherever you wander, far away or just down the street, everything you need to shape your future is within you. May you always find your way back home.
Thank you, Mrs. Welsh. And now I'd like to call to the podium Steele Foster for the introduction of the guest speaker. Come on up, Steele.
Hello, everybody. It is my pleasure to introduce the Tupper Lake High School alumni, staff writer of the high school newspaper, Red and the Black, president of the Sigma Nu Chi fraternity, a SUNY Geneseo graduate, a local business owner, a finance nerd, a former president of the Tupper Lake Chamber of Commerce, board member of the Adirondack Foundation, and a dedicated community member. He can often be found reading up on Civil War history or enjoying the outdoors. He's a rather poor golfer and a mediocre hockey player at best, especially considering his Canadian heritage. His wife married him mostly for his incredible dance moves, and they have two beautiful daughters who will hopefully continue the Kentile legacy. He is a devoted husband and father, managing to balance a demanding work life with being fully present at home. His influence stands out when Ron Wynn and Quincy quote his favorite catchphrase, "Do it once, do it right." Empowering the younger generation is one of the main reasons he agreed to speak here today. Please join me in welcoming Adam Boudreau.
Thank you very much, Steele. I agree with much of what was said here tonight, but I will add, Emma, do not become a door-to-door vacuum salesman. Amazon will destroy you. So 400 years before the birth of Christ, Xenophon, a Greek general, alongside 10,000 soldiers, was fleeing the Middle East ahead of the Persian army who was seeking to destroy him. He happened upon a massive walled city in the desert, completely abandoned, with walls 50 feet thick and 100 feet high. He asked some local tribesmen about the city, but its history had been completely forgotten. We now know that he was camped outside the gates of Nineveh, the capital of the Assyrian Empire. A mere 200 years earlier, that city had been the largest urban center in the world, with gardens, zoos, statues, art, and government. It had been nearly constantly inhabited for over 5,000 years. And then, in just a few generations, it was completely forgotten. Similarly, on a Friday night in my household, after a week of school and work, my wife, my daughters, and I ponder what to eat for dinner. Staring blankly at each other, we immediately forget every good meal we have ever prepared or enjoyed. Confused and exhausted, we settle for pizza. My point is that human memory is short, and our attention spans continue to shrink thanks to the smartphones in our pockets. Humanity has forgotten the cities it once built, the civilizations it forged, and the techniques that shaped them. To this day, we puzzle over the construction of the Egyptian pyramids. We now find ourselves year after year and decade after decade moving away from some of the character traits and processes that built the great human civilizations, including our own here in the United States. I would like to give you a few examples of principles that may not be stylish or current, but that have worked for me, my family, and my company. Number one, people are important. I've enjoyed a lot of success. The highlights: exchanging vows with my wife, holding our 2 baby girls in a maternity ward, enjoying my early childhood with my hardworking single mother. I love you, Mom. Celebrating a big business deal with my father, playing cribbage with my grandparents, bonding with my stepfather while traveling to tournaments, shaking hands with my brother on his wedding day, celebrating the birth of a niece, watching my nephew grow into a hardworking young man, finishing a tough project with my coworkers, seeing a Little League team take the field with Kentile Excavating on their jerseys, enjoying a warm fire at hunting camp with some good friends, and reminiscing on a good year with my business partner. Without someone to share it with, success is non-existent. It's why we do what we do. Marcus Aurelius said that what we do echoes in eternity. Eternity is a stretch, but I know that the hard work of my grandparents, my parents, and my aunts and uncles was nothing short of a sacrifice. It gave my generation a step up. I then had the opportunity to start a little higher on the ladder. It is now my responsibility to ensure that my children, grandchildren, niece, nephew, cousins, and the Tupper Lake community are better off through my hard work. I owe that to my family, to this town that helped raise me, and ultimately to humankind. So do you. Support the people who supported you. In the wider world, be kind and understanding, and if you are doing well, reach down and help pull somebody else up. Number 2, get out of bed every morning, the earlier the better, and go to work or school. As a teenager, I once called in after a late-night drive from New Jersey to let Bill Kentile know I wouldn't be in that day. His response: if you don't get to work in 10 minutes, you don't have a job. I obviously made it to work that day. It is an important lesson, and his response probably changed the trajectory of my life. You are going to have to learn how to work, tired, sore, hurt, and sick. When our company assembles for work before 6 in the morning, there is no such thing as a no-show, and we have never had to develop a company policy on missed days. If our men can possibly work, They are sitting there ready to go. They are on time. They are prepared. It is a personal mindset, which turns into a culture, which in turn amplifies production and benefits all of us. 3, when you are wrong or unsure or make a mistake, admit it immediately. That goes for families, employers, employees, students, teachers, administration. Contrary to popular belief, admitting that you are wrong and asking for help is an incredible power move. It endears you to others and proves that you are trustworthy. Every day at our company, someone has a better idea than I do. That is great news. It takes the pressure off me and keeps us moving ahead. And if you want a strong team, give credit where credit is due. 4, don't ever say the words, "It's just the way I am." You name it. I'm not a morning person. I'm just not that motivated. I'm simply not that personable. I struggle with organization. These are choices you make, they are excuses, and they ultimately hurt only you. The world you are about to enter will not even momentarily pause to consider your deficiencies or problems. It will simply move on. Your level of motivation and organization, coupled with your people skills, is going to determine the quality of your life. And when you do get stressed out, I have the perfect prescription. Finish up your day of work or school, turn off your phone. It isn't doing you any favors. Drink some water, get a haircut, eat something healthy, do a short workout, take a shower, and get 8 hours of sleep. That is the human equivalent of a hard reset. I guarantee you wake up the following morning with a new lease on life. 5, spend time with people who are driven and live a purposeful life. Production and efficiency become commonplace, and your casual, out-of-work conversation is chock full of helpful information. As you start to buy homes, you discuss mortgage brokers and interest rates. You then help each other out with retirement accounts and investments. Everybody moves up the ladder together. Avoid the dramatic crowd where infighting and jealousy eat up much of their time. 6, literacy and learning outside of school are exceedingly important. Personally, bit of a nerd, I spend my time reading about ancient Middle Eastern empires, the American Civil War, Clovis culture, you named it. I peruse industry-related articles that help my career, and I'm constantly researching my hobbies. It keeps me sharp and engaged. A love of learning will increase your vocabulary and make you a better conversationalist. If you still manage to doom scroll for hours each day, constantly crush binge-worthy TV shows, or melt into a gaming chair for a marathon Call of Duty session, you are not doing enough. The odd game of Mario Kart is okay, but only if it's in battle mode. 7, don't focus on the money, focus on the skill. Do not make your goal simple proficiency. Become the absolute best at what you do. Early on, you will be relatively cheap labor, but eventually, your speed and ability will allow you to name your price, and you will be compensated for that time. While learning these skills, ask questions. 10 times a day, I ask, "Please forgive my ignorance, but could you explain that further?" Do not fake it till you make it, and don't worry about looking stupid. 8, if you are getting paid to do a job, act like it. Move quickly, do not waste time. Be respectful to your coworkers, your bosses, your customers. My grandparents, Bucky and Donna, have always preached, be thankful for the work, and we carry this mindset every day. Number 9, pack a lunch. If you want to just make a living, simply show up. If you want to make good money, show up early with a few questions. If you want to make great money, show up early, rested, hydrated, with a lunch packed and a plan. The sky is the limit. Whatever your path going forward, take it seriously. For those of you getting additional education, work hard on your studies. Join extracurriculars and be social. That's important too. Remember that the cash register is running, your student loans are real, and they will follow you through bankruptcy, believe it or not. For those of you entering the workforce, and specifically the trades, you live in an unprecedented time for high wages and upward mobility. Moving forward, live within your means and pay down your eventual necessary debt as fast as you can. Make sure your money works for you, not the other way around. Immerse yourself in your job and learn from the veterans in your industry. At Kentile Excavating, we pride ourselves on having the best crew, and while they have varying levels of traditional education, they all share good character, great work ethic, and they are absolutely necessary to our business. Every single person that works at our company is a Tupper Lake High School graduate. I graduated in the front row, went on to a degree in business. My business partner, Jason Merrihew, graduated in the back row. He struggled with dyslexia. Miss Kate Bennett got him through high school. If I'm being honest, I am standing up here because of him. I may be the company's spokesman, but he is the better decision maker. He's also a genius, which makes him a bit temperamental, but that's my cross to bear. He's one of the most driven humans I've ever known. Kevin Pickering, Cody Churko, Sean Besaw, and Max Willett are lead foremen for our company and are implicitly trusted with tight bid projects on huge homes, equipment worth millions of dollars, and the production and safety of the men under them. They are in the front line, and I am proud of their effort and excellence every single day. They shoulder a heavy responsibility, and they are in the trenches, quite literally, every day. But they are quick with a laugh, and they lead by example. Eric Forche is an absolute genius as a diesel, gas, and electrical mechanic. He knows how to walk the line between expensive part-heavy repairs and old-school ingenuity to get you through a day. He's joined by Jesse Kavanaugh Jr., who's also a tremendous mechanic, excels at fabrication, manages part inventory, converses with Northern Diesel customers and service companies, and who's also earning a mechanical engineering degree from Clarkson. Mitch Merrihew and Cade Rowley are two more fairly recent hires who have also been incredibly successful right out of the gate. At 20 years old, Mitch has proven to be a natural operator. He's a hard worker and has been trusted to run some of our largest equipment while managing a full plow route in the winter. You can show him the basics of a new machine and simply walk away. Cade balances his field work and equipment operation with managing the hydroseed division in our company, moves equipment, along with yard inventory and warranty service claims. He is a graduate of Northwest Lineman School. He's also a great human, good-looking, single, and here tonight. My wife told me not to say that, but there it is. Tony LaFrance and Derek Olds are responsible for managing all of the pre-ordered material needed on our job sites and day-to-day transportation logistics. Ryder Willett is a tough laborer, always willing to pitch in, and recently completed a semester at SUNY Canton where he made the dean's list. Matt Zandy is a new hire. After high school, he completed a master's degree from Clarkson and is our operations manager. Incredibly humble, but he has always proven to be a huge asset while organizing our internal systems, streamlining our inventory, working on promotional material, and performing most of our customer relations. His wife, Amanda Zandy, handles all of the back-end administration, including accounts payable and receivables, banking, financing, and billing. She is the glue that holds us all together. We would not exist without her incredible work ethic and no-nonsense mentality. Finally, we've had the privilege of working with Steele Foster over the last 18 months. He came to us out of his element, but he came into our company with an open mind and worked through his injuries and pain. I salute you, sir. Building off a foundation laid by my grandparents, Bucky and Donna, and my uncles, Bill and Herbie, we have assembled an all-star cast here in Tupper Lake. This team goes out into the North Country each day, often winning the chance to work with Fortune 500 CEOs, NBC executives, music industry professionals, hedge fund managers, and tech bros. We've worked for the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, the Hearst, Lynch, and Bush families. Together, our group of Tupper Lake High School graduates works for some of the most competitive and financially successful humans in the world. We negotiate with suppliers and finance professionals, and we leverage to gain favorable deals with some of the largest equipment companies in the world, including Caterpillar, Volvo, and Link-Belt. Nothing excites us more than winning a contract in the Greater Adirondacks and bringing those profits home to Tupper Lake for the men and women that work for us and the community programs and initiatives that we support. We thrive by amplifying our individual strengths and leaning on each other for support. It's this trust, collaboration, and shared purpose that fuels our progress. Together, we are all moving up the ladder, and we are not done yet. We all sat where you are sitting currently, from the front row to the back. We share the same training from the same school district and the same life lessons from this community. You are equipped for success just as we were. Take advantage. While I've attempted to be motivating, it will not always be easy. Mike Tyson once famously said, "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face." You're going to get knocked down, sometimes through circumstance alone, sometimes at the hands of a skeptic, a cynic, or a bully. When that inevitably takes place, do what generations of Tupper Lakers have done before you. First, remember that the only backup plan you need is to get back up. Secondly, you smile, you kill them with kindness, and then you simply outwork them. You hustle, you grind, you do not take your foot off the gas. When the dust settles and you're still standing, they may or may not come to like you, but they will certainly respect you. So once again, I would like to congratulate the class of 2025. Safely enjoy this weekend, celebrate this milestone. Come Monday, it's time to get to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. It is now time to present the seniors with their diplomas. Graduates, when I call your name, please come up to receive your diploma from Board of Education President Jane Whitmore. Emma Lynn Kavanaugh. Campbell Elizabeth Cassegrain. Jack Rowan LaQuay. Sophia Noel Staves. Sadie Marie Tower. Sarah Ann Higgins. Luke Wayne Robillard. Samantha Ray Flagg. Sadie Edith Safford. Ellie Ann Duquette. Felix Bo Davis. Jada Lane Wigley. Carson Thomas Maroon. Jesse Daniel DeTola. Gavin Paul Mitchell. Isaiah Matthew Swinier. Cooper John Kataya. Carter Robert Keniston. Kyler Douglas McLean. Christian Ryan Moody Bell. Philip Carl Lindsay. Bauer Lawrence Callahan. Amira Brielle Foster. Jocelyn Rose Hart. Addison Kate Brown. Abigail Elizabeth Shaheen Smith. Genevieve Kristen Lascala. Iga Franchik. Kaya Catherine Mulliken. Emma Alexa Brown. Kendall Lauren Keniston. Avery Rose DeGrace. Ashton Parker Clark Sanford. Wyatt Marshall Godin. Sean Michael Bijou. Charles J. Levy. Elijah Brennan Gonzalez. Braden Gerald Shannon. Dane Christian James O'Connor. Steele Gordon Foster. Caleb Michael Roberts. Aiden Michael Rabidou. Mary Ann Becker. Kaylee Marie Burnett. Hannah Lynn Barber. Hannah Natalie Mador. Kelsey Rose Douye. Gabrielle Renee Staves. Nevea Ray Tui. Leanne Grace Stevens. Monica Marie Smith. Christian Wayne Fortier. Fox Donald Joseph Brownell. Charlie Alexander Dennis. Marcus Raymond Curry. Dylan Matthew Boudreau. Nathan James Barkley. Jackson Charles Jakewish. Graduates, you may now move your tassels from left to right. Everyone, it is now my privilege and honor to present to you on this 27th day of June the Tupper Lake Central School District graduating class of 2025. Okay. Okay. Let's move forward. I'd like to welcome Cooper Kataya to the stage for our closing remarks.
I don't know who let me up here, but I bet none of you thought that this class clown was going to be giving the closing speech at graduation. But anyway, as we prepare to enter the next chapters of our lives, there's just a few things I want to leave you with. There will be moments in the future that are filled with weird stress, anxiety, and fear. We will fail and we will fall, but there is always light in the darkest days. As I look out to all of you, I see a group of resilient people that will be all right. Growing up with a differently abled body has given me many moments of hopelessness or doubt. I had to learn to adapt in my life, including my athletics. Learning to adapt in football, baseball, hockey, and shoot. I even did track. These hard moments taught me the ability to never give up and to always surround myself with good people and a great community that cares about you. There are a few people that deserve a thank you. First, my parents and my sisters for their unwavering support and encouragement, even though sometimes I could be a little bit challenging. To Coach Kennison, Mr. Brown, Coach Klausner, and Marshall Godin, all of you guys encouraged me to challenge myself, and I wanted to thank you for letting the kid with the limb difference out on the field to give it all I had. Without that support, I would have never played these sports I love, and I can't thank you guys enough for making me the man I am today. As we look back on these past years, running the dream mile, playing kickball in the mud, the touch football games that always ended up in an argument or a fist fight, slowly turned into varsity sports, climbing mountains in Adirondack Day with our homemade t-shirts, soon traded for caps and gowns. From uncontrolled recess to regents exams, we have traveled down this path together, and even though it is my time to say goodbye, I would like to leave you with just a few more things. I want to thank you all for accepting me for who I am and treating me with respect, kindness, and encouragement. It has been an honor to be your classmate. Second, as I stand here and reflect on the challenge of constantly adapting and overcoming unusual situations, it makes me truly believe that all of you will do great things in the journey ahead. Finally, I have one last thing to say. 10 fingers are overrated. Thank you.
Thank you, Cooper. And thank you, everyone, for attending this evening. Please rise as our class of 2025 exits.